Stream is brought to you by Mr. Dirk. From casual wear to suits and formals, Mr. Dirk helps you find the perfect fit with the right look for any occasion. Step up your wardrobe at mrdirk.com.
Nobody added to the infirmary for the Edmonton Oilers on a night where the LA Kings came in with a healthy lineup and a purpose. Was not even close. Penalty kill gave up a few. Oilers couldn't find any offense, and a no-doubter for the Kings tonight as they seize home ice advantage. The first time through these run of series against the Kings that LA will have a chance to start on home ice. How much does it matter? Well, let's discuss. Jason Strudwick joins me. Welcome to Got Your Back. So happy that you're along for the ride tonight. And Struddy, as always, our show is presented by our title sponsor, Play Alberta, buddy.
Where it's always game time. Bet on sports. Find your new favorite slot. Hit the tables. Play on a virtual table with a live dealer. Grab your lottery tickets and do it all safely with responsible gambling tools that help keep you safe. Deposit today and get a $50 free bet with code GYB04. Visit playalberta.ca.
All right, and I am on the road, so I'm in my mobile Adrenaline Diesel studio, and Struddy is in his home Adrenaline Diesel studio.
And Adrenaline Diesel is a Caterpillar-recognized and authorized dealer and repair facility. For expert service for your CAT engine, visit adrenalinediesel.ca, everybody.
All right, so we got Zuby, we've got Struddy, and soon enough we'll have Rob Brown. He's finishing up the post-game show over on 880 Ched. Let the regular season die, Struddy. Just let it come to an end, buddy. Like enough. These games are just blech. I don't know. Maybe I'm just feeling a little bit, I don't even know what the right word is. It just felt like that game couldn't end fast enough. I can only imagine what Wednesday's game is going to feel like. But I don't know. You were in the building, Struds. It was just kind of, I don't know. What did you think?
Well, the good part is none of us had to play in it, because you're just taking it off the chin and nothing good. You're just completely outgunned.
Yeah.
But I'd actually challenge you. I think the Oilers can wait for the regular season to end. The more time it takes for it to end, the healthier guys can maybe get. So I'm
True.
of the view, let's extend this. Maybe let's take it 84 games.
Yeah, it's actually not a bad point. Although rumor is abound that the Oilers are either going to be a Sunday or Monday start.
Perfect.
So
Push it
the
to
regular
Tuesday.
season wrapping up on Wednesday. What's that, bud?
Push it to Tuesday or Wednesday. Like they should be
Yeah,
yelling from the skies that they don't like those dates. Like push it as far back as you can.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, I mean, so tonight on the show, we're going to break down this game, obviously. We'll talk a little bit about the upcoming playoff series and home ice advantage and what it means. Some interesting comments in the middle of the game from Philip Danault at an intermission. Corey Perry wasn't a huge fan of that. He had a strong reaction after the game, so we're going to get to that as well. Also, Evander Kane spoke for the first time this season. A little bit earlier on today, we will get to some of those comments from Evander Kane, and in our YouTube poll tonight, we'll get you to prognosticate Kane's playoff potential. What might he be able to do if he gets back for this series? So we got a jam-packed show. Looking forward to it. And we will now get to our breakdown, Struddy, brought to you by the Alberta Ram Dealers.
It's a Ram Motor Trend celebration event. Lease a 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab for only $139 weekly. At 2.495 or 9% for 42 months. See your Alberta Ram dealer today.
Okie dokie. So no Connor McDavid, no Zach Hyman, obviously no Matthias Ekholm, no Wallman. Oilers were shorthanded. Young Hudson debuts, but a significantly shorthanded lineup here, Struds. Like, what would your headline be tonight? Like, what Do you think that they should have put up a little bit more of a squeak here, like getting steamrolled and shut out? I don't know. Would have been nice to get something on the board there. I know they were overmatched, but get something on the board, no?
Kings are a better team. But this was a full roster against an exhibition lineup. Let's just call it what it was. I thought the Oilers competed. They got mad. They were running around hitting everybody. Like they got their hits in, but you got to make plays as well. And the lineup they had tonight, because of injuries, that's not an elite team NHL lineup. You're not beating that team with that lineup. Quite frankly, you're gonna have a hard time beating anybody. You look at it, they're probably missing at least 5 forwards if everyone's healthy, and 2 D-men that are, one's your number 1 and one is probably your 4 or 5, somewhere in there. So then you had 2 AHL defensemen in your lineup tonight, and they were exposed. There was no Stetcher. Emberson playing pretty far up the lineup. Like, this was a lineup built to get spanked by a good team, and they lived up to it. And that's just the way it is. Like, I don't. If the Oilers are fully stacked, this is a different game.
Well, of course it is. But, I mean, I'm not saying that you should have beat the Kings tonight, Struds. I mean, we're not going to debate, the strength of the lineup. But would you have expected more than that? No goals. I mean, the Kings still had third and fourth lines out there too. Mm-hmm. And the Oilers, had home ice advantage. So it's not like every second was played head-to-head against Kempe and Kopitar. Like, I don't know. It's a couple times now where they've gone, fairly quietly without either of the big guys in the lineup. And I don't know. I mean, I get it. They were overmatched, but I just thought, maybe a little bit more offensively, just show something. They were barely getting any shots.
Yeah, it took them 7 minutes to get their first shot, right? I mean, that's a good team. Like, they're a good squad over there, and I think they came with an agenda tonight. They were getting the 2 points. They're not. I'm not suggesting the Oilers weren't, but that was a motivated team that came in ready to play and to put their stamp saying, we'll take second place. Thank you very much, and leave here. And they did it. They did a good job. So I know I'm oversimplifying it probably, a bit, but that's a really good team. And the Oilers are not a good team with all these injuries. And so a good team that is ready and wants to win the playoffs has to come in and take a team like this to school. And they did. They just gave the Oilers, they just abused them scoring. The only thing the Oilers did was out-hit the Kings. That's the only thing they did, I thought, better tonight.
What did you make of the I don't know, are we going to call it rough stuff? Like, it was kind of more a bunch of guys standing around grabbing each other by the sweater and, looking menacingly at each other. But, like, I don't know, man. There wasn't really much heat actually going on out there.
There was nothing. I mean, there was no fighting. I think that maybe a fight would have been in order, but no one was fighting. They're just kind of pushing. So it looks like there's something going on, but there's really nothing happening. I think it was in the second period. It really looked like maybe something light up, but nothing really happened. And, so who's going to fight and why are they going to fight? So they just kind of look mad and they push each other around a bit, a couple hard hits, and that's really it. Maybe they didn't want to take it any further, especially after there was the nurse incident. Maybe people were warned by their coaches, like, hey, we can't afford to have anyone, penalty is one thing, but a suspension is a whole nother, or potential suspension.
Well, I think, yeah, for sure. So, and the Oilers, I mean, they were physical. Like, they definitely finished a lot more checks tonight. They spent a lot of the night chasing the puck, so they were certainly there to be finished, and they did. I'm certainly not gonna criticize that portion of it, but the one I thought was interesting was, the Oilers are down 2-0, and Connor Brown gets steamrolled by Philip Danault along the wall. And so he gets up, clearly mad, chases him down the ice, elbows him in the back of the head, and then skates away. I don't know. Am I crazy for thinking, like, okay, your team's down 2-0, pretty much same size guy. He's their second line center. Chase him down the ice and, see if you can get him to go. But the whole building is watching him. He just elbows him in the head and then skates away. I just thought that was like, in terms of gamesmanship, like, there's your fight. Go see if he'll go with you. set the tone for the playoff series, send the message, but that was just kind of like skated after him, elbowed him in the head, and then skated away. It was odd to me.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there was an opportunity there to maybe make it more than it was. I guess that's not really in his makeup, but I understand you got to get out of your comfort zone and kind of let people know that you don't want this to happen. But I think the Oilers quite quickly realized how the Kings were going to play in that third goal at the end of the period. The first period, that was that's a nutcracker right there. And then they decided they're in a bad mood. It's going to start running guys. And I do get it because you're frustrated. You're getting absolutely trounced in so many different ways by a team that you're going to play in the playoffs. But it's not a fair fight. You're fighting with one arm behind back.
Yeah. Struddy, let's get to the Weiss Johnson sound box. There was an interesting clip from Phil Danault, I believe, on the Amazon broadcast at intermission, Struddy, but the sound box is always brought to you by our good friends over at Weiss Johnson.
And air conditioning. Beat the rush on getting a new air conditioner for this summer. The team over at Weiss Johnson are already busy with requests for air conditioning, so don't wait. Specializing in servicing your existing mechanical systems or installing new ones, Weiss Johnson's here for all your home comfort needs. Visit weissjohnson.com today. Hit it.
Weiss Johnson, whoa.
All right, Zuby, do we have we got the Danault clip and the Perry clip? You want to just run them back to back? And is the audio on Danault okay? Will people be able to hear it?
Yeah, it should be all right. It's a little echoey, but it's not bad.
All right, here's Phil Danault at intermission, and then Corey Perry post-game on Danault's comment.
What's going on out there?
I think they just have their B squad and trying to hurt us, so that's pretty much their message tonight. That's what I'm thinking. But yeah.
Well, excuse my language. What do you want us to do? Did he not look at what's happened over the last couple of weeks? What do you want us to do? We're not out there to hurt anybody. I mean, that's nothing else. Move on.
All right, so Perry hadn't heard that yet. We sort of dropped it on him, and his immediate reaction was to drop the F-bomb. So, I don't know, Struds, what do you make of Danault saying that? They're trying to hurt us.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I get the temper. I've been out there before where a team it's not going well, and they just want to get you, right? You're just like, I'm going to get somebody. I'm going to get someone. So I do understand it. And I mean, that's the feeling they had on the ice. Now, you can see the nurse on Byfield, like that was excessive use of force. And then they felt that they so compelled, they pulled their goalie out, who was pitching a shutout. So he lost what was probably going to be a guaranteed shutout because they wanted to keep him, quote unquote, safe. So they're feeling that way. And Perry's still mad about the way the game went. So I like it. I like the animosity here. I want this. I think Oilers fans should be thrilled that this is how it went, because now there's animosity heading into game one of this series.
Zuby, any other game relevant sound that you want to run there, buddy? I can't recall everything you grabbed, so just go ahead and take it if you want. Throw to a clip or two.
Yeah, we got Coach on the power play, and we got Connor Brown on the matchup with the Kings. Where do you want to go?
Wherever you want, buddy.
All right, here's the Coach. I thought this was interesting on them referring to the Kings' new power play look with 5 forwards.
Yeah, no, it looks a lot different. Campy up at top is very dynamic. It changes the look of that power play quite a bit. And, the trade down leg, Kuzmenko has been a nice addition to that power play. It's been a lot different looks, different setup than it has been in the past. So, we'll have to adjust going forward. Hopefully when we're adjusting, we can adjust with our go-to penalty killers, and we've got everybody.
Did you get away injury-free tonight?
Yes, we did. It was a good night. We haven't had a good night for a while. So anytime you lose like that and you still are happy about things, things haven't been going well in the injury department. And tonight, everything's good.
And
Connor Brown too there, Zoobs.
Yeah, here we go.
It's a good team over there. It's a good team in here. It's going to be a good series. It's exciting. I mean, that's what it comes down to. I mean, it's exciting. Obviously, a bit of a frustrating one tonight. But, come next week, it's going to be exciting. We have a high sense of belief in this group. We think we can do something special. So, it'll be a fun one.
Let's double back there, Struds, to Nurse. What did you think of the Nurse play/penalty, and do you think there's any chance for supplemental?
So the initial takedown, I think, was probably a 2-minute penalty. But when a player's on the ice face down and you cross-check in the back, you're opening yourself up to a major, and then you're opening yourself to the conversation of a suspension. I've watched it a few times. I don't think he hit him that hard. I think that what he got was warranted in that time. So I don't think there'll be a suspension. What did you think?
Yeah, I would tend to agree with you. I actually thought it was a little bit worse. And then I saw the view from inside the net. Did you see the net camera?
I didn't see that one.
And when I saw, that was the one where I looked at and thought, okay, that maybe wasn't quite as bad as I thought it was. So I agree with you. I think, sure, 5 in a game, get them out of there. That's probably enough. And I think even you got a guy vulnerable like that. You're asking for 5 minutes. So I won't even say that the 5-minute was debatable. I think that was fair. But I would be surprised, if it's we just saw a guy laying on the ice the other night get face punched with his orbital bone snapped and not a peep out of player safety. And I know they're very different things, but maybe George Peros didn't like getting his suspension reduced there by the commissioner, and he's put his whistle away a little bit. I'm not sure. But I wouldn't expect anything on this one.
No, for sure. And I think you got it right. I don't think there'll be any. And I know that probably sounds biased, but I thought, went from a 2 to a 5 to that's probably it in that moment. Getting back to the power play of the LA Kings, though, I mean, it is interesting they have 5 guys on the power play, and Kempny's a guy working the blue line because they have Drew Doughty, who's a pretty decent power play guy, or has been, but they've moved on from him. What is also really interesting to me is that pretty much everyone on that power play also kills penalties. Byfield, Kopitar, Kempe, and then Fogel, I think, is the 4th guy. So they use the same people they're on power play, penalty kill all the time. And I think that's something that the Oilers have to really be aware of when they go into this series, that they're going to use a lot of energy on those 2. So you got to make sure they have to work really hard 5-on-5 and finishing checks, bumping into them, slowing them down, because that'll pay dividends as you go through 7 games. To have guys do everything all the time, that's a lot.
Well, that'll play right into the Oilers' strength. That's their wheelhouse, Struds, wearing teams down physically.
Well, tonight they did.
The sarcasm. What's that?
Yeah. Well, tonight they were running all over the place, right? Like tonight.
Yeah, for sure.
I actually think it takes away from their game. They're running around like it was tonight, but they were pissed off, and I get it. You're taking a beating, so take it and get out of there.
Shogger, I just want to jump in here. I've got Brownie, but I'm having a little issue with my board code, so I want to make sure. Brownie, can you talk and see if we can hear you?
Hello, friends. How are you?
He's here. Okay. All good
there
then. I will
Okay.
disappear and cut him loose on you guys.
All right. Thanks, Zuby. Appreciate that. And I'm going to cut you guys loose because I'm home. So you two guys run the thing. Struds, take care of the rest of the segment. And we'll do the poll next segment, but grab Relentless Player and finish off, and I'll join you guys in a few minutes.
All right, Brownie, let's take it on here. So let's do Relentless Player now. Brought to you by You Can Youth Services, an Edmonton charity relentless in helping youth age 16 to 24 get out of harm's way and get employment. Visit youcan.ca to see how your donation can change lives right here in our community. Brownie, I'm having a really hard time pulling out a Relentless Player out of this game for the Edmonton Oilers. I honestly, I don't have one. I thought about the whole drive home. So if you want to put one forward, I'm all ears. But other than that, I will actually have to leave it blank.
Actually, Strud, I'm going to throw someone out there. I'm going to throw Josh Brown on defense for the Oilers. I think he had 5 hits and 4 block shots. He was physical. I mean, I don't think he plays for the Oilers in the playoffs. I'm not sure his skill set is good enough right now, but there's one thing that he knows he has to do, and that's be physical, and that's be strong, as a defensive type shutdown defenseman. I thought he gave what he had, and tonight he was physical. He threw a couple big hits in this hockey game. So to me, he would be my relentless player in this hockey game.
All right, I can live with that. So you're saying he was relentless in his pursuit of physicality. And
I like that. I mean, that's a lot of big words.
Now, to be fair, he was on the ice for 2 of the first 3 goals and in the box for the other third part of it. But we'll take it. We'll take it because I had nothing.
Strud, I wasn't calling him the first star. I was only saying he was relentless.
Okay, relentless in his pursuit of it. So let's get your thoughts on the Darnell Nurse interaction with let's say aggressive play with Quinton Byfield. What'd you think, and will there be a suspension on the back of that bad boy?
I thought it was dumb on the part of Darnell Nurse, and here's why. He's put his fate in the hands of the NHL Safety Committee, who we know don't always get it right. He cross-checked him twice in the head. Now, it didn't look as bad in the instant replay as it did live, but cross-checked him twice. The second one, he had a prone Byfield on the ground. Byfield didn't come back in the hockey game. Darnell Nurse is a repeat offender. The referees on the ice felt it was a 5-minute major and kicked him out of the hockey game. It would not shock me if he gets suspended. My guess is it would just be a 1-game suspension if he did. But I don't like the fact that Nurse put himself in a position and put his team in a position where he could miss a hockey game in the playoffs. A team that already has got all these injuries, you don't have Ekholm. When it became 4-0 Struds in this hockey game, the only thing in my head was, don't get hurt, don't get suspended. To all of the players on the Oilers, there's no need for it. So I thought it was a very silly play for Darnell Nurse to do. That it takes his fate is not in his hands right now, whether he plays Wednesday or the first game of the playoffs. You just didn't need to do it, and we'll have to wait and see. Now, if they don't suspend him, they fine him, that's fine too. But why do it? Why give yourself a chance to not play game 1 of the playoffs?
Yeah. Well, we've all been on tilt, right? We've all been on tilt, and you do things you're not proud of in the moment. So tough one for him. Last one for we chop out here really quick. I don't know if you noticed, but the Kings obviously run 5 forwards on power play, but basically those 5 same people, not Kuzmenko, kill penalties. So they have the same, I think Fogel's another penalty killer. He's on the power play, but those same people do both jobs.
Fiala's the other guy. It's not Fogel, it's Fiala that's on the first power play. And he does sometimes kill as well. Their power play with the 5 forwards is better than it was with Doughty. It's much more effective. It is given a different wrinkle. The LA Kings cannot beat the Edmonton Oilers if their power play isn't effective. And the LA Kings power play has been terrible all season long. So it will become much more effective with what we saw tonight. But here's what I would do, Struds. Anytime the Oilers are down in a game and shorthanded, at some point I would put Connor McDavid on the ice. There's no defenseman in the NHL that can stop Connor McDavid. Certainly 5 forwards aren't going to be able to. I think it's just a fear factor if you put Connor out there. If you're losing in a game and you're shorthanded, throw Connor out there occasionally, and I guarantee you at some point he will get a shorthanded opportunity. And I predicted tonight on the radio with Jed that the Edmonton Oilers will score a shorthanded goal in the playoffs because the LA Kings have 5 forwards on the ice.
Yeah, I like that. That's a really good point. Okay, let's duck out of this really quickly. When we come back, we'll get into takeaways and a conversation about Evander Kane. He spoke today, and some good news for Oilers fans. That's next.
At Gallery Dental, we believe in blending exceptional care with artistry to create the perfect smile for you. From routine cleanings to advanced cosmetic procedures, our team is dedicated to providing top-notch care in a relaxed and comfortable environment. With state-of-the-art technology and a passion for perfection, we ensure that every visit is a positive experience. Join the Gallery Dental family and let us help you achieve a smile that you'll love to show off. Contact us today at secolandentistry.com.
Ready to go all in this season? Mr. Dirk's got you covered with express on-site tailoring, a wide selection of craftsman-made suits, sport coats, and casual staples for every occasion. Score big with Mr. Dirk. We've always got your back. Visit us off White Ave, south of 102nd Street, or browse online at mrdirk.com.
At HSE Core, we are dedicated to providing unparalleled safety compliance services to small and medium-sized businesses through our monthly health and safety program management, including managing contractor screening registries and core auditing services. Let HSE Core Services help you maintain a safe workplace for you and your valued employees. Visit us at hsecore.com.
Thanks for joining us tonight. Oilers lose 5-0 to the LA Kings, a team that was severely shorthanded against a team that was fully loaded except for Joel Edmondson, defenseman for the LA Kings. Let's get into takeaways now, brought to you by Martin Motorsports. It's almost boat season, and Martin Motorsports has a massive sale on pontoon boats. Swing by one of the Martin Motorsports locations in Edmonton, Calgary, Saskatoon, or Kelowna to view the pontoon inventory, or shop online at martinmotorsports.ca. Well, there's Shoggy, looking very handsome.
Hey, boys.
Oh, there he is. There he is.
There we go. That's better. What's up?
You got a quick 9 in on the sim?
Yeah. Hit the putting green quick. No, I decided I wanted to change out of my suit, so I took a little bit extra time there, and I might have wolfed down a quick little snack too. So just
sure,
little me time before I jump back in here. By the way, I'm so mad at myself. We did Struddy's World the other night, and we debriefed our visit to your house, Struds. The number one most important thing that came out of that night, I forgot to mention. I'm so mad that I forgot to mention it. Let it be known here and now that I told my joke to Holly Brown and to Shona Strudwick, and it killed. They were dying laughing at the table when I told them the joke. And there were witnesses. People saw it happen. Randine saw it happen. They thought it was awesome. So just for the record, guys, my joke crushed with your wives. FYI.
I didn't notice that. I was in the room. I didn't notice any laughing when you were talking.
You're just lying. Just lying.
Yeah. That was after a few margaritas as well. They would have laughed at anything.
So that's comedy clubs have a 2-drink minimum. Why do you think that is?
Yeah. All right. I know I'm not getting any credit from you guys. I'm not even going to continue trying. By the way, shout out to Starting Over at 61, one of our amazing loyal listeners here on the show. Zuby, you probably don't have the picture ready. I'll just hold it up here if I can. So he was in town and was trying to get his hands on a hat. So I was able to hook him up with the crew over at De Boers. But there he is in the flesh in Edmonton, the one and only Starting Over at 61 with some Got Your Back merch on his head. So he was kind enough to let us use this photo. But always a loyal listener and happy to hook him up with a hat for sure. Okay. I heard Brownie give Relentless Player to Josh Brown, and I like that choice. So he's barely played any hockey, Struds, the last month or so. I think they had a baby. He was off for quite some time. Came back. I think he maybe got a game in the minors and then came in here tonight. So I heard Brownie talk about him before, Struds. What did you think of what Josh Brown showed tonight?
Yeah, he definitely had a mission to be physical. On the penalty kill, I thought he was just a half second late to react to what was needed. Now, that might be the lack of games, right? And you're trying to find your game against five pretty talented players. But, if one guy goes, everyone's got to go on the penalty kill. I thought he was reacting a little bit slow. But, I mean, listen, I was he is I. So when your team isn't great and you get a little bit more exposed, right? When your team is pretty strong, you can kind of get, not that you have to hide, but you kind of get caught the flow of playing fast with your buddies. So tough. It was a tough night for everybody, and this lineup didn't help anyone on the back end.
I was he, and he was I. That was amazing. That was a great turn of phrase there. Would he be an option for you in the playoffs at all, Brownie, if need be? Like, would he be next up ahead of Danault from what you saw there tonight?
I don't think he's as gifted as Danault. I think Danault skates better, makes better plays. He's got a toughness to his game. If Josh Brown's in the lineup, you have some injuries ahead of you, and and then you've got some problems. It's a lefty righty thing too. I'm not sure I want two righties playing together if one of them is Josh Brown. So he's an option, but to me it'd be a little bit lower down the totem pole before I bring him in.
Klingberg. Yeah. I'd have Klingberg before Josh Brown.
100%.
Yeah. Well, I did watch Klingberg skate this morning. So on the ice this morning, it was Draisaitl. McDavid didn't skate. I think it looked like it was a full day off ice today for McDavid. Draisaitl was out there. Frederick was not. Evander Kane was. Klingberg was out there. Looked like he was moving reasonably well. And then I was interested, Struds. So today was a complete day off the ice for Stuart Skinner. Did not practice, at least that I saw. Calvin Pickard was out there taking shots from the guys. So I kind of wondered if maybe they'd go back to back with him because he had a light workload last night, but that wasn't the case. And then was completely off ice today again too. Does that surprise you at all?
Yeah, it does. It does, especially because it was a bit of a light one. So he didn't have one earlier. Like he didn't go on way before everybody, I guess.
I mean, I guess there's a possibility. Yeah, but I don't know why he wouldn't have been out with those guys. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll allow for that possibility.
I wasn't there, and I would be surprised he didn't have a work day today, especially because tomorrow, because they're flying to San Jose, that'll probably be either an optional or no practice and just fly to San Jose. Mm-hmm. So maybe I'll have a hard day tomorrow. Then he plays Wednesday, but yeah, I would have thought today would have been a work day for him, truly, especially considering what happened the night before.
Yeah, hearing potentially an optional skate tomorrow and then their flight, if they have an optional at all. So, Brownie, we talked in the first segment a little bit about what the Oilers sort of brought tonight. It was very clearly a mismatch. Would you have liked to have seen a little bit more, even just something offensively? I know it was a mismatch, but they still had NHL players in there. Like, do you think there could have been more of a push from them at some point?
Well, I think there was a push. It just wasn't good enough. I don't think. I mean, I think they tried. I just think the LA Kings are that good a defensive team. You look at Darcy Kemper's numbers this year. Other than the number of wins compared to Connor Hellebuck, he's got the same kind of numbers as Hellebuck does. He's got a 2.05 goals against average and a .921 save percentage. That is a great goaltender. He's having a great season, and part of it is him, and part of it is the way this LA King team plays. They don't give you much. And the Edmonton Oilers, without Connor and Hyman, they don't have much offensively. This wasn't the San Jose Sharks, or it wasn't the Anaheim Ducks, or teams like that the Oilers have been able to create offensively against without their best players. This is an elite defensive team, the LA Kings. And there was a lot of Oilers that were not noticeable out there, offensive players that just got nothing on. Didn't see anything out of Jeff Skinner tonight. Arvidsson had his one chance that he missed. Didn't see a whole lot from RNH out there tonight. Connor Brown has been hot playing with McDavid, quiet tonight. And I think this is more how good LA is defensively and less that the Oilers didn't have it tonight. I just think the LA Kings are too good a hockey club for the Oilers to be able to compete against without their best players in the lineup.
Yeah, I think that's well said and fair. So just running down some of the injury stuff, because we kind of debrief with Knobloch earlier on in the day. So Frederick, I think, is doubtful to start the playoffs. It sounds like. I mean, I haven't even seen him skating, since the injury. Zach Hyman expected to start the playoffs. Matthias Ekholm, I mean, we've had our reporting there, but for sure not going to be around for the first round, potentially a lot longer than that. But Evander Kane potentially draws back in here right from the start of playoffs. And again, guys, everything that I've seen tells me that he's going to be ready to go right out of the gate. And so let's listen to some of the sound that we got from Evander Kane today. Held his first media availability all year long. We have not heard from him since like the Cup. Well, actually, no, he did an availability, I think before or after his surgery. He did an update months and months and months ago. But we'll go back to the Weiss Johnson soundbox. Zuby, you can just kind of rock and roll with a bunch of what Evander Kane had to say today.
All right, this was him kind of speculating on when his return might come.
With me, obviously, I've missed a good chunk of time, but I like to think I've been really diligent and working towards coming back ready to be the player that I can be. And if that's a game before the playoffs, if that's game one, I'm not sure quite yet. But what I do know is that I want to be a big contributor to help this team win, and I feel I'm really close to being able to do that.
And this was him sort of talking about his previous returns from similar situations.
I mean, obviously, every individual has expectations. You have, self-belief. I have a lot of self-belief. I think just kind of going off last year, which was kind of the closest play I've had, and how I felt throughout that year and what I was able to do, that gives me confidence with how I feel now. I think, I kind of maybe compared a little bit to when I first came here. I kind of came off my couch. I was out of shape and was lucky enough to have one go off my skate to kind of get me going. But, so I feel a lot more confident coming back this year at this time, being in shape, being ready, and feeling as good as I possibly can for when I do come back.
All right. Is that all of it, Zuby?
Yeah, that's all we got from Kane.
Okay, and did I grab one from Knobloch as well on his expectations of Kane, or I didn't?
No, the one from Knobloch is about the training staff and whatnot.
Oh, okay, yeah, we'll get to that one in a minute then. So Struds, what do you think, and what do you expect?
Confidence is high in the Kaner. Like, he is a confident guy. Like it's amazing. Like I gotta love it. I mean, what are you going to tell you? Like, this guy hasn't played for a year, and he's like, I'm feeling. I think at one point he talks about how what are your expectations for yourself? Well, last year I couldn't even skate, and look what I did. Now I can actually feel good and move around. Like, his confidence and belief in himself is incredible, and I like it, because I wish, quite frankly, I would have had a bit more of that in my game. My expectations for Kane would be, I'm going to start low and hope for above that. I think hoping he can be a second or third line player would be towards the end of maybe the first round into the second round. But I'd probably start around the fourth round and say, or fourth line, and say, hey, we're just going to let you get your beak wet. Try to keep, and if he shows you something, put him up, move him up the lineup, Brownie.
Well, what I expect from him is the very first time he's on the ice, he runs Drew Doughty. I think there's going to be a physicality that he's just itching to get out into this game. I don't know where the hands will be. I don't know where he will be with creating any sort of offense to start with. But simply skating as fast as he can and running over a player or two, I would expect the first time he steps on the ice. We saw Trent Fredericks in his first game throw a huge hit 6 seconds into the game. I would expect the exact same from Evander Kane. I don't know if he's going to change the series with any offensive prowess, but he can certainly change the series with a physicality and a nastiness that we've seen from him in the past in the playoffs.
Yeah. The other thing too, there's been a lot of talk about him going down to the American Hockey League for, a conditioning game or two. Both sides have basically said they haven't really even discussed it. The other thing to keep in mind with Evander Kane is that, he and his, I don't want to misstate this. Is it a partner, fiance? Apologies if I got that wrong either way. They just had another baby. And I believe there were some complications, and they spent some extra time in hospital, I think quite some time. So he's been in the middle of trying to get ice time and get himself back into playing shape, while obviously taking care of things on the family front as well. And, congratulations to them, and certainly wish them all the best. So it's been a bit of a balance for him, Struds, to try and keep both of these things going and get himself ready. And, he was asked about the conditioning stint today, and he said, look, it's different for everybody. Like, Landeskog was out for 3 years. It's a little bit different. I've come back before. So it doesn't sound like it's going to be an option. But to be fair to him, he had some stuff going on the personal side, and he has done this before.
Yeah, I've talked to some people, and they say that when it comes to his conditioning, he works hard. Like he does get in there and digs in, and he takes it really seriously. So if he says he's close to 100%, I'll believe him, because I think he is usually ready to go. Now, Brownie makes a good point about the hands, and that's why I think I start him on the fourth line. I'm not expecting him to have a hat trick the first night, but the impact he can bring and the swagger. Like, imagine if he was turned loose in that game tonight. There would have been some sparks, right? And so I think he's watching that, and he's the type of player that believes that he can intimidate and make a difference in a game like that. So in game one, if you drop him in there, I want to see what he can do. Now, the challenge for him would be to manage those emotions and not take like really bad penalties. But if he takes a hard hit on Quentin Byfield the first shift and he gets a roughing, I'm like, yeah, do it. You got to set this tone. You got to believe this can be a long series. Kings are a good team, and the longer it goes, hopefully the healthier the Oilers can get.
Brownie.
Yeah, I agree with you, Strud. And I didn't. Yeah, well, I never ever would have imagined that he would go to the minors. To me, I know that there was talk about it, but there was zero chance he was going to go down to the minors and play. As Strud says, he's got strong belief in himself, and to me, he's an X factor in this series. And simply from the physicality that he brings, he must have run Drew Doughty 100 times last year in the series. Like every single shift out there, he ran him. And you don't need hands for that. You just need a nasty attitude, and Evander Kane has that. So I expect as soon as he's able to play, I think Chris Knobloch will have him into the lineup. The first possible moment that he's cleared, Knobloch will have him in the lineup.
And that's exactly what Chris Knobloch said today. When he's ready to go, Evander Kane will be in. Zuby, hop in here. Let's get to our DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center YouTube poll. The snow is finally gone, and golf season, it's closing in. 2025 equipment now fully loaded into the fitting carts. DeBoer's is booking fittings 10 days in advance. Call now to get your spot. Get fit to play your best by the team dedicated to helping you play better golf. Visit them at 5311 99th Street here in Edmonton. Zoobs.
All right, so the question is to the chat here, what are you expecting from Evander Kane this playoff? And the choices are nothing. It's all gravy. The second choice is physicality and not much else. The third choice is his typical playoff point production, which, by the way, is 0.56 points per game. He's got, I think, 43 playoff points in 76 appearances. And the fourth choice is he will be a difference maker. So what are we expecting? What are we expecting from Evander Kane?
Yeah, you guys want to weigh in on that? Brownie, what do you think on that list?
I think it'd be a combination of B and D. I think his physicality will be a difference maker. I do. I'm not expecting point production, but I'm expecting him to be involved physically and be a thorn. And what we've seen with Evander Kane, he goes after the other team's best players. He's not going to waste himself going after a fourth liner. He's going after Doughty or Spence or Kempe or Byfield. He's going to be a physical presence.
Mm-hmm. Struds, what do you
that's
say?
A great place to start. Great place to start. That's if he starts there, his game is built off irritating people and being physical and intimidating. And then I think the goals come from there. So I think that's a great place to start. And I think Brownie, you nailed it. Doughty, Fiala, Byfield. Those are the three guys I'm going to try to get. Kempe's pretty hard. He's pretty fast.
Mm-hmm. All right, so get in your votes, and we will go over the results sometime a little bit later on in the show at a random time of our deciding. We will go over our YouTube poll results. Where were we going next? Where was I going? Oh, okay, I remember. I do want to get to the sound from Chris Knobloch. So we mentioned on the show yesterday, and you see it out there on social media. People are frustrated in their replies to anything to do with an Oiler tweet about injuries. So just want to address this idea that Trent Frederick comes back and ends up injured. Leon Draisaitl, ends up injured, playing some heavy minutes in a game after he was tweaked in that game. Matthias Ekholm comes back. We find out today it was the same injury that he had been dealing with before and ended up tweaking it. So people are asking the question, are the Oilers bringing players back too fast? Is the medical staff rushing them? Is their system working properly? And I think asking that question is fair. We need to understand we don't necessarily know we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We don't have all the medical information, and you assume that they're going to be professionals about it. But we put it to Chris Knobloch anyways about these recurring injuries with these players that have been brought back. One more time to the Weiss Johnson soundbox. Here's the head coach addressing that idea.
Absolutely bad luck. I think the past 2 or 3 or even farther than that, the Edmonton Oilers injury record is probably the best for not losing players due to games. And, this year right now it's just catching up to us right now. And I think it's a lot of it. Nothing has changed. We still have our same medical staff, same doctors, and they've been doing a standing job. Right now it's just everything's been unfortunate for us.
Either you guys want to grab that, Struds?
No, I mean, I made the comment, same comment the other night, and I think it's just bad luck. Things don't change. That the trainers, and this is every team, they need to have the best intentions for the player, or the players won't trust them. And now you got a really big problem. So I think it was just bad luck. I think he absolutely nailed that. He being Knobloch, Brownie.
I agree. I mean, Knobloch mentioned it, and he hasn't been around for all these years. But the one thing we've noticed with the Oilers, they've been incredibly healthy. The last 4 or 5 years, their star players seem to play 79, 80, 81 games a year. Last year, they went with more or less the same 6 defensemen from about November on, which was one of the reasons Broberg never got to play, because no Oilers defenseman ever got hurt. And just all of a sudden, all the 4 or 5 years worth of injuries just all hit the Oilers in a 2-week span. So these players are worth hundreds of millions of dollars. This team having success in the playoffs is worth hundreds of millions or whatever it is. They are not going to push a player back if they feel he can be injured again. They felt that all those players were in good enough shape physically to be cleared to play. So I agree with Strud. It's just bad luck that hopefully has run its course and we can start turning it in the other direction come playoff time.
All right. Quick before we wrap this segment, are we all in agreement that Stuart Skinner gets the net for game number 1? Any dissenters in here? Zuby, you can chime in if you're a dissenter. I'm thinking it's Skinner as of right now, and I don't think anything that happens between now and game 1 changes that necessarily, outside of some injuries. Brownie?
Well, I feel it's going to be Skinner. Now, if he goes into San Jose and lets in 4 bad goals, maybe I change my mind. But to me, Stuart Skinner's the starter. He's their number 1 guy. But I do believe that there is so much faith in Pickard that the leash will be short if there's any sort of off game for Stuart Skinner. But I believe Skinner will start game 1.
Full point for you, Schauger. 100% agree with you.
Really?
A full point.
For a scrap. A full point. I'll take that. All right. And Zuby, you too?
Yeah, me too. I wanted to say one thing about Pickard's game tonight. I love that how he was still battling down 5-0 in a mean-nothing game late. He's still battling and scrambling and diving all over the place. And I think people are down sometimes on Skinner's body language. And I do feel like, I know Stu Skinner doesn't give up, but sometimes it looks like he does. And I love that from Pickard. I saw that tonight late in the game. So I think that was him still even in a negative game script showing that he's going to battle for them still no matter what. So, yeah, but I have to agree with you guys on Stu starting game 1, and we'll see from there.
All right. That was Takeaways brought to you by Martin Motorsports. Throw us a thumbs up in the break if you don't mind. When we come back, Struddy's World and Brownie Points. Stay with us. Lots ahead here on Got Your Back, presented by Play Alberta.
For over 60 years, Belvedere Golf and Country Club has delivered a high-quality membership experience to Edmonton and area. And now it's even better. Drainage and irrigation improvements in 2024 have taken course conditions to a new level. This commitment to long-term sustainability means exceptional playing conditions all season long. Belvedere's tee sheet availability is unmatched, so join now and experience golf the way it was meant to be played, on your schedule. Visit belvederegcc.com today.
If you're considering a vinyl fence, don't be fooled by cheap marketplace imitations. Get top quality vinyl fence from a trusted company with 20 years in the industry. With locations in Calgary and Edmonton, check out dlrvinylproducts.ca.
So at Timberhouse, our guiding philosophy is naturally inspired living. We believe that through design, we can solve problems and enhance people's lives. We follow biophilic design principles in all of our builds to incorporate natural materials, natural light, to enhance all the spaces in a home. When you have your space perfectly reflect who you are and what you value, and it's made well, we think that that just leads to better living.
All right, welcome back to the show. Time now for Brownie Points, brought to you by Hamel's Premium Jerky. If you're looking for a delicious way to support your team, club, or cause, Hamel's Premium Jerky offers an easy and profitable fundraising opportunity. Support Canadian business with this Canadian-owned business. Raise funds with a high-quality product that everybody loves. Contact him today at albertajerky.com. The good folks over at Hamel's. Brownie, go ahead, bud.
All right, first I'm going to start off with one big brownie point to Montreal Canadiens' young phenom, Ivan Demidov, who came with much fanfare, played his first game tonight for the Montreal Canadiens, scored his first goal of his young career, added an assist in the game. The goal that he scored was absolutely beautiful. Great patience. This kid had a lot of pressure on him, and he came in tonight, and he was outstanding. And he came as exactly as advertised. I've got -1 brownie point. If you are a Montreal Canadiens fan, then you want to take a brownie point away from the NHL instant replay booth. If anyone saw the game tonight, the Montreal Canadiens, with a win, they go into the playoffs. Game goes to a shootout. In a shootout, Montreal's Cole Caulfield shoots, he misses. Comes out, Chicago Blackhawks Frank Nazar goes, he misses. Montreal Canadiens Patrick Laine goes, he misses. 0-0 after 3 shots, but wait, the referees are called over to the penalty box. They go to instant replay. And Frank Nazar, who went first for the Blackhawks, they watched the replay and he scored. The puck was in the net behind the camera. They found the puck in the net. Everyone on the ice missed it. They count the goal. That was the only goal scored in the shootout. Now, to me, I found it, if they're going to count that, I think that Patrick Laine should get a reshot, because I would have complained if I'm the Montreal Canadiens. You know what? He would have tried something different had he known we were down a goal instead of 0-0. NHL didn't do that, but it was a really weird play. Montreal had shot already before they allowed the Chicago goal to count. Montreal Canadiens do not clinch a playoff spot tonight. I got one great big brownie point to the fact that we only have one hockey game like the one we watched tonight before the real games start. Tonight was painful. Very, very painful. I can only go through one more of those hockey games. Thank God that's all there is left. I've got -5. -5 brownie points to Darnell Nurse. The game was over. There was two things that went through my mind when the LA Kings went up 4-0 in this hockey game. Do not get hurt. Do not get suspended. And I heard you guys talking about this earlier. Darnell Nurse, when you watched it live, it looked bad. When you watch it on the instant replay, maybe not quite as bad, but he's a repeat offender. He cross-checked a defenseless guy in the head while he was on the ice. Quinton Byfield didn't return to the hockey game. Darnell Nurse put his fate in the hands of the NHL disciplinary guys who we know have made some weird decisions, both good and bad, over the last number of years. I thought it was a huge mistake for Darnell Nurse to do that. You have injuries. You have no Matthias Ekholm. Why put your fate in the hands of the NHL disciplinary guys? I thought that was a poor decision by Darnell Nurse. My final one, I've got 36 brownie points to Ryan Rishaug from Got Your Back fame, and his favorite hockey team must have listened to one of his podcast rants and delivered him a 36-hit performance against their first-round opponent, the LA Kings. So there you go, Shogger. You got 36 brownie points from me, and those are your brownie points for the night.
And an admission that I was right all along. That's what I'm sensing, the hidden message in there, Brown. That I've been right all along.
No. It also reaffirms what Chris Knobloch told you, that every time the Oilers lead and hit, they lose the hockey game. Another example of that.
Yeah, yet another night where they won the hit battle but lost the hockey game. Go figure. How could that possibly happen? Great addition of brownie points. Now, people are definitely coming at you on the stream, though, Brownie. People are coming at you hard for the idea that they should have been allowed a reshoot on the shootout after the goal was changed. They're calling big-time BS. So I'll give you a while. Mo says no one's doing the shootout with the intention to not score. So people are not buying that he should have got another crack at it.
Hey, first of all, no. I can tell you from 100% that if I had a chance to shoot in a shootout to win it as opposed to tie it, different type of pressure. I just found it weird that they were allowed to go to replay after Montreal had already scored. It just was weird that it worked. Now, they got the right call. It was a goal, and it was unbelievable that they missed it. But I would have complained if I was the Montreal Canadiens. I would have tried to get a reshot with Patrick Laine. I don't know the rules. I've never seen this before. But did you guys see it? Like where the puck was? Yeah. It was clearly in the net, and everybody missed it. I thought it was hilarious. Like even the goalie. I want to know if they interviewed the goalie, if he knew it was in the net and was just going to try and pretend it wasn't, and see if they can get a victory or not.
Listen, to be fair for all the listeners and to everyone, every forward that's ever played the game believes that it should be illegal to block shots. So Brownie thinks that if you block a shot, you should have another shot. Like, come on.
Get out of the way. It's not your job.
Score. Just do your job. It's not that hard. Some of us are 100%.
Listen to you. It's not that hard scoring. Jason Strudwick of 6 NHL goal fame.
Well, yeah. People are blocking my shots. Don't hear me complain about it.
All right. Those are brownie points brought to you by Hamel's Premium Jerky. Time for the big guy to take center stage. Zuby, roll the Struddy's World animation.
When you make a mistake, heads should roll. It's not right. And I'm here. Someone has to put their foot down. Now that I say it out loud, it does sound a little crazy.
Gotta look good. Davin in with a good chirp here. He says, did you guys see that highlight reel Amazon made for Struddy? They showed the same goal twice. Nice job. A little bit of a casual attire on there tonight, Struddy. A little casual for network television. Time now for Struddy's World. Brought to you by DLR Vinyl Products, Alberta's leading supplier of vinyl products. They offer premium materials for fences and decks designed to stand the test of time. No rotting, fading, or deteriorating. Whether you're looking for professional contractors to do it for you or want to tackle the project yourself, they've got the resources to help you either way. Check them out online at dlrvinylproducts.ca, locations in Calgary and Edmonton. Like, Struds, you're more dressed up now on this show than you were on Amazon tonight.
Face was looking good, though. Lots of compliments about my face and hair. So don't pretend I didn't hear you about that. I did do Prime today, and I walked up there after the second period, and I got there before, and there's people I don't know. It's the same area I do the Sports Nights games when I do those, when I'm asked to do those. I arrived there, and there's kind of a security guy / producer, and he's like, "Hey, Jason, whatever, nice to see you, whatever." And then there's another lady standing beside me, and he goes, "Do you think, you'd like, I forget her name, do you think she could, touch you up and put some makeup on you?" And I said, "No, you know what? I think I'm pretty good. I can go all natural." She's like, "I think we should do it." I'm like, "Don't mind if I do." So she touched me up. Like, there was a lot of makeup on this face. And I reel in there, and she is like, "That's better." And she's like, "Yeah, that looks better." And I go in there. So humbling for me to say, because I thought I was calling my own shot here. Like, I just don't really want it. And I'm not upset, but I think I'm good. She's like, "No, I think we need it." I'm like, so I did it. And I guess it did look good. From all the compliments that were just flowing in on Twitter, the Facebook, Twitch, all those different places. Yeah, so I guess I do need makeup more often. Yeah, I should dial that up again.
Yeah, has something to do, Struds, with, and believe me, I know something about this, but you would be a lighting person's nightmare walking onto set with that forehead and those lights, and you'd be a makeup person's nightmare if to refuse. So sure. You and I are susceptible to a lit set like that, and just a little bit of like drive-in movie theater action style foreheads going on. So it would have been a nightmare for her had she allowed you to go on shiny like that. That could have been her job, Brownie.
I think you look fantastic, Jason. I thought you were very pretty on the show tonight.
Yeah, thank you. What's a nightmare for me is you suggesting, Shaga, that you and I have the same hair. That's what's a nightmare for me.
What? You really want to do that? Do we need a second YouTube poll? Who's got more time left? A second YouTube poll?
The sun's burning off the snow off the top of our head right now.
I know. So I'm going to show this for anyone that didn't see it. Like, can we just discuss the clothing decision? Were you a guest analyst on Prime tonight, or were you like, Jason Strudwick's at the game tonight, so let's get him to join us on set? I mean, it's it's that sweater suit coat thing you bought, but then you had kind of like just sort of a dirty blue t-shirt underneath it.
Oh, I don't know why you say it was dirty. It wasn't dirty. You're just making that up.
I saw stains.
There's no stain. That's like the various inflections of the material. No. So what happened is that I was just walking around Rogers Place, and I got it started trending that I was at the game. So they had to get, no, just kidding. So I was just a guest. And then they talked about the game. I guess there wasn't enough, meat on my career to really talk about it. So I got into the game instead.
So the plan was to talk about your career, and then they ran out of things to talk about. So they just brought you in as the second half turned into analyzing the game.
Well, I think right from the first half. I mean, I think from the drop of the puck, we were talking about it, right? I mean, yeah, whatever. I mean, it was a good experience. Nice people I never met. Made some new friends, a couple new Facebook friends. I think one's on MySpace. We're going to be friends. Blake and I are going to be MySpace friends. So that's exciting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I like it. That's good, man. Well, that's good. You're getting looks with the networks. Great stuff. All right. That was Struddy's world. Like, Struds, you and I could both use makeup right now. Like that shine that you see on my forehead right now, that's not supposed to be there. And if this were like, if Dave Parker were here lighting our sets, he would tell me that we needed to put anti-shine on. So both of us right now.
Yeah. Yeah. No, Speak for yourself. I'm pretty comfortable with my forehead level.
I'm not sure that either of us should be. That was Struddy's World, brought to you by DLR Vinyl Products. Brownie, we're going to let you go. We know you had a long night tonight sitting through that game. One more to go on Wednesday, buddy. We'll chat with you after that one.
Sounds good. Good night.
All right. Yeah, see you, Brownie. That is Rob Brown. Okay, as we go to break, we got a little in the system action for you tonight. That is brought to you by Long Shots Indoor Golf and Sports Bar. Swing into Long Shots, Sherwood Park's ultimate sports bar and golf destination. Just got even better. They're launching their brand new menu, family-friendly options. They got a kids menu as well. A bunch of really cool games there. You can take kids there now. So we were there the other night for Rick's 50th birthday, and a cool back room with some arcade games and stuff. It's a great setup. You can watch NFL games, NHL games, whatever you want. Come for the sports and stay for the fun at Long Shots in Sherwood Park. As we go to break, Ryan Reed with our In the System report.
On Friday, the Bakersfield Condors won 5-0 against San Diego, with Josh Prokop scoring his first career goal. Josh Brown played his first game since March 7th due to the birth of his son, Nathan Brown. The Condors lost their most recent game Saturday 4-2 to the Coachella Valley Firebirds. James Hamblin posted an assist on the Condors' first period goal, but the Firebirds rallied with 4 straight goals to end the first period. Hamblin now has 7 points in his last 3 games. Colin D'Elia replaced Olivier Rodrigue after 1 period and stopped all 16 shots he faced in 40 minutes. Bakersfield was without 10 players due to injury and had to play a player short, with Connor Carrick out of the lineup due to illness. Matthew Savoy is 4th among all AHL rookies in points with 51, and he has 5 points in his last 5 games. The Condors are now 2 points out of the playoff spot after Tucson lost in overtime Saturday night. Bakersfield has a game in hand with 3 remaining. Sam O'Reilly has posted 3 assists for the London Knights over their first 2 games in the OHL playoff semifinals. 2024 7th-round pick William Nickel posted a goal and 2 assists in Game 2. London leads the Erie Otters 2-0 in the series and has outscored them 13-5 over the first 2 games. For the Barrie Colts, Bo Akey and 2024 6th-round pick Dallin Wakely both have 2 points each in the first 2 games of their series versus the Kingston Frontenacs. Barrie also leads the series 2-0. Arto Leppinen signed an entry-level deal with the Oilers. The 6-foot defenseman is the 3rd generation to play professional hockey, but he'll be the first to play in North America. He led the Liga in points with 63 in 60 games. I'm Ryan Reed, and that's what's happening in the system.
Specializing in heavy-duty commercial truck powertrain repair, performance, tuning, and part sales, Adrenaline Diesel's professional team is ready to assist you with all of your needs, from the simplest oil changes to engine conversions, overhauls, and engine modifications. Featuring an all-new online parts store and machine shop to manufacture, replicate, or repair parts, visit adrenalinediesel.ca.
Join over 250,000 Canadians who have upgraded to Canada's best mattress. Douglas is proudly made in Canada and ships directly to your door for free. Douglas is easy to set up. Enjoy perfectly balanced comfort and an easy-to-clean machine washable cover. Get a free sleep bundle with your Douglas mattress. Try risk-free for 365 nights. Get your Douglas mattress today.
With over 18 years in the industry, Kelly Zaretsky and her team at Blue Summit Accounting deliver client-focused solutions and financial guidance for success in a simple and comfortable way. Whether it's for corporate or personal needs, Blue Summit Accounting can help with taxes, estate planning, financial services, bookkeeping, and more. Get in touch today. Email bluesummitacct@gmail.com or call 780-416-9662.
All right, time to take a couple of laps, brought to you by Acon. If you're a skilled tradesperson or construction pro looking for work in Western Canada, fire your resume at them. trades@acon.com is the email address. They are building some of the largest multi-year industrial projects in Western Canada, and you can be part of their team. Skilled tradespeople, construction professionals. Send your resume. trades@acon.com. Struds?
Yeah, the league continues to want to get headshots out of the play of the players. And the other night, Adam Pellick was cruising through the middle of the ice, trying to make a play with the puck forward. And in came Paul Cotter of the New Jersey Devils and hit him directly to the head. Pellick goes down. Cotter gets 2-game suspension for it. This is the easiest one. You just watch it. It's a direct head contact. To me, not a big issue as far as the hit is an issue, but the suspension is not the issue. To me, they got it right. He'll be out 2 games, and he earned it. And that's the way the system's supposed to work.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm just taking a look at it here. I mean, yeah, there's not much doubt to sort of elbow right square to the head. So that's, that would definitely fall in line. That was about what I expected. And I think that one makes sense, buddy.
Yeah, pretty simple. I mean, he could slam the brakes, turn a little bit left, try to hit it. It happens fast. Now, maybe he didn't to do it, maybe didn't mean to, but he did do it. And that's what the system's for, is to remind players that you cannot do that and protect guys in vulnerable positions with headshots. The next one up, this one has kind of been interesting. Not that I'm happy he's retiring, but tomorrow, Logan Couture is going to officially have a press conference. He's going to say he's no longer going to play hockey. He's been out a few years now. He still has 2 years left on his contract. There'll be some work with his contract going to a different place and not in the cap anymore. But Schauger, really good player, and the health is obviously the issue. He had an issue around his midsection with not inflation, but some inflammation. And so it's been part of the problem. He's out. So he's out now. And unfortunately, a guy that, he was a good player, but this just means he's going to be announcing this tomorrow.
Yeah, 933 NHL games, 701 points. Had 101 points in 116 playoff games. Was always a very good, reliable playoff performer. So when I was at the Four Nations, had the opportunity to meet his dad, and I apologize, I can't remember his first name, but we had a discussion with him, and really, really nice gentleman. But he talked about the journey that it's been for him and how difficult it's been for him. And, it was a personal conversation, so I won't get too much into it. But what I'll say is just really, really felt for him. And you realize how much it affects the family too, Struds. Like it was quite emotional for all of them to be watching him fighting and going through all of this. So here's a guy that's been fighting for his career, and sometimes it goes the way that it is going for Landeskog here. Sometimes it goes a different direction, and unfortunately, not everybody kind of gets to write their final chapter in their career. But this is a guy that has a tremendous amount to be proud of. Just a well-respected player, Struds. Very skilled and competitive, and very well-respected.
Unbelievable career. And yeah, it's hard. And I always feel that it's nice when a player can skate off the ice the last time, not be, wheeled out. And so, and I'm being a bit dramatic, but you understand what I'm saying. Like, just, he can skate off the ice and that step off. And when I knew my last time in the NHL and my last game professionally, I knew that I just skated off and I'm like, I'm done, but it was on my terms. And for Logan, he can't do that because of this health issue.
Yeah. Certainly wish him the best moving forward. Some on the stream suggesting he'd be a natural as a fit in the front office, potentially, if that's something that he would like to do. Been around the game a long time. Real good, respected player. That was Ask Us Anything, brought to you by our friends over at Acon. Okay, Zuby, hop on in here, buddy. Let's wrap up this DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center YouTube poll. We were asking the expectations from Evander Kane in this upcoming playoffs. Where did we land, buddy?
We landed on that 46% of the listeners think he's going to be a difference maker. 28% said they're expecting physicality and not much else. 17% saying nothing. They're not expecting anything. It's all gravy. And only 7% saying they're expecting him to beat his typical playoff point production of 0.56 points per game.
All right, so 46% with an optimistic view of what Evander Kane might be able to bring. Should probably at some point here and ask us, I'm not sure if anybody asked about Hudson, but I don't know if we've talked about his game much tonight. So we can definitely throw one of those questions in there, Zuby, as we get to Ask Us Anything, brought to you by BJ Electric Supplies, an Edmonton-based independent electric wholesaler offering a wide range of products from lighting and lighting controls, wiring accessories, control and hazardous products. If you name it, they've most likely got it, serving electrical contractors working in Alberta's oil and gas, commercial, residential, and OEM sectors. Check them out at bjelectric.ca. All right, Zuby, what do we have?
Dallas Scarlet just came in and said, is our game 82 lineup our game 83 lineup, except for Kane? Who comes out for Kane? I don't think it's... How close is the final lineup going to be to the game 1 lineup? Or do you think there's not much of an appetite for that at this point in time, Schauger?
Yeah, I mean, Knobloch talked a little bit about it post-game. I don't know, Struds. I don't think there's... I mean, you can't play Evander Kane. I don't think they're going to rush anybody. I think they've been stung here. I think they're probably going to err on the side of giving guys more time. So I don't know, man. Studs, we could just see them kind of cross their fingers and hope that game 1, everything falls into place without having had a dress rehearsal in game 82. I could see them err on the side of resting guys again. Struds, you?
I would sit everybody except Connor McDavid. And once he gets his point, I'd say you're done. And that's it. Like this team has had a tough run of a stretch of injuries. Why tempt fate? Obviously, the fate's against them right now. And then you get to game 83 and you put your best lineup together and fingers crossed that it's going to figure it out. Now, you are starting on the road. So there's some time to gather the guys to hang out and talk about things and get it going. So you hope that game 1 is okay. And then game 2, you're like, okay, we're back.
Yeah.
All right, Gabriella C. She came in late. She said, I'm not sure if we talked about it. We did. How many games do we think Nurse is getting suspended for? Just on the record, what do you guys think? Is there going to be any additional punishment for Darnell Nurse, Struddy?
I believe we all said 0.
Maybe a fine.
Yeah.
That's sort of where we left it. We didn't think there would be games handed out. I mean, I guess if Peros wants to throw him a game, chances are Nurse maybe is one of those guys that you're resting anyways on Wednesday. So, but I don't think it will be anything jeopardizing the playoffs in any way, shape, or form. But I don't expect it'll be even a game.
Schauger, Mo wants to know, related to the Ekholm injury, how did the second opinion go? Is there a chance he's ready for round 2? Was any of the news that what Knobloch talked about today on the back half of that second opinion that we were hearing about?
No, if they have the second opinion in, I mean, they're not exactly handing out results for us. So we asked today, out for the first round for sure, but no updates. Like my guess is that they've most likely been told by the first set of doctors, I mean, you're done. And then you don't love that answer, so you go out and look for another set of you get a second opinion as you always do and wonder if there's a pathway to getting back a little bit quicker than that, salvaging some sort of playoffs. So yeah, I guess we'll just wait and see. I don't know if there'll be a definite day where they say, okay, yes, we now know he's done for the season. Playoffs, they can be a little bit funny with these things, so I don't know that we'll have that. But as of right now, no. All he would commit to is just being the one round.
All right, Hank809, our friend in Tokyo, says, in some sports, playing from the underdog position can work wonders for a team's cohesiveness. Do you think some of that could be in play for the Oilers in round 1? First of all, do you believe that they're going to be an underdog in this series? And if so, does starting on the road and an underdog mentality do anything for them, or do you think that's not even in their mindset, Struddy?
I do think that with all the injuries, I think that at best makes it a coin flip. I like from the outside looking in. I mean, there's a lot of uncertainty going around about this team, and no Ekholm, that's a big deal. Imagine if Winnipeg played without Josh Morrissey, or Toronto without I don't know who their number 1 is. Maybe is
Riley
it
or
Riley?
Morgan Riley, I guess. Yeah. So yes, it's a major. I mean, I think it makes it from the outside be a coin flip. Now, this team always talks about the belief in themselves, and I get it. You've got Connor and Leon in there. I think those guys understand how to compete with some injuries, and Kane coming back. So wild card. Trent Frederick is the one I keep saying they need this guy. They need him there. If he can get into game even 2 or 3, and maybe it's tied at 1, we got something there.
Yeah, I don't believe the Oilers are going as underdogs. They beat them 3 years in a row. They got the 2 best players in the series. I just don't think that. I don't think that you'd be able to convince the Oilers that they're underdogs. So I'm not sure that that'll be there. Yeah, not sure I'm buying that.
Alex Cognier saying, would you sign Perry for next year on a league minimum with bonuses? Do you think, and I'll kind of put this part of it to you, Shogger, do you think there's an appetite for Corey Perry to want to play another year?
Oh, league minimum plus bonuses, yeah. Now he could be 19 goals or 18, 19 goals here by the end of the season. Is he going to be good with that? I'm not sure. But yeah, league minimum plus bonuses, I would say you're probably okay to bring him back. Struds, how about you?
Well, he's like $1 million. Was he 1-2 right now? Something like it's not killing you.
Yeah.
So I think that the guy scored 18 goals, 5 or 6 fights. Like that's pretty good from a guy who's supposed to be a 4th liner.
Yeah.
I think there'd be a market now. I don't know that he needs an extra $500,000. Not that I'm being casual with $500,000, but I think that you'd say, hey man, do you want to come back and try to find a number? But I don't think it would be a league minimum after what he's done this year.
Yeah, so he was 1.15 on the cap with a $250,000 signing bonus. So it's 1.4 on the cap for him.
Yeah, if they sign up for 1.4, that'd be awful. I mean,
no, sorry, 1.4 AAV, 1.15 on the cap. Sorry about that.
Okay.
And what's your sense? Do you think you're around him, Shogger? Do you think he will want to play?
I think he wants to win. Yeah, I think he wants to win, and I think I think he's enjoyed his time here in Edmonton. I think he's close with some of the key guys here. So yeah, I could see there potentially being a fit there. Yeah, I think it's been good. Now he's another year older, and how does that look? But you can't argue with the competitive spirit that he's shown. I think the Oilers need to speed themselves up. So I think that they need to make some additions and need to fundamentally change a little bit about their, the way they're designed and their team speed. And I don't know if he fits there, but for a lot of reasons, he works.
Okay.
If they sign, I'll just say this. Sorry, if they sign Trent Frederick, maybe it becomes a different conversation, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Jack Burton says, injuries aside, Oilers still have a huge goalie problem, his opinion. Realistically, they are no match for the Kings. I wouldn't go that far, but I think it's notable, to use Shogger's phrase here, word, that how good Darcy Kemper's record is against the Oilers and save percentage and all of that. And sometimes you just have a team or a rink or whatever that you just feel really good and comfortable against. And should that worry the Oilers, and should it worry them more than the home ice advantage situation, Struddy?
Yeah, he's a good goalie. He's won a Stanley Cup before, and he's comfortable, and they're playing well around him. So the Oilers have to figure it out. But they've figured out other good goalies in the past. They've got guys that can score goals, and they can score a lot of goals. So, I think it's a I guess it's a new challenge the Kings haven't had in the last 3 series.
I mean, and I think, we'll see what Stuart Skinner can do here, Struds. Like, I'll keep pointing back to that 3rd round series against the Dallas Stars where, it really mattered. It was really important. And Stuart Skinner was at his best and outplayed the guy at the other end. So if you're asking me, do I think it's impossible for Stuart Skinner to outplay this guy? No, I don't think it is. Skinner has shown in the playoffs that he can, in a series, outplay the guy at the other end, even if it's a good goaltender. So I know that's not the way that it's been trending necessarily. But yeah, I think this is as good a goalie as the Oilers will have faced in that LA net. And I think that matters.
Aaron St. Pierre says he had an interesting question, thought it might be a poll question, but he said, seeing all these cross checks to the lower back and abdomen injure guys' cores, do you think that needs to be addressed by the NHL? It's such a common play. We see it all the time, but is there a point in time, Struddy, do you see a point where that becomes something they look at the same way as a headshot or put an emphasis on it that way?
Probably the wrong guy to ask, because I did this a lot. So I don't know. I'll just say my opinion. No, I don't think so. I think that's one way a D-man can create space for himself around his own net. How is it good for the other team, other player? No, it's not, but that's why you do it. You don't want him to come visit you there. So I'm definitely the wrong person to ask. I'm very, very biased with this one.
Yeah, and on the low back, like there's padding there. There's there you got your pants, and the ones that are a little bit more for me are the ones where they try, they're clearly trying to get him in that exposed area in the ribs there, where it's kind of a little bit open, or slash just above the glove, like you're going for those areas that are a little cross check in the low back, as long as it's not from behind. Yeah,
there's way less than there used to be. Way less.
Yeah,
Struddy, you could be like Patrick Waugh. Patrick Waugh is the guy who built up all the huge equipment and the giant jerseys and everything else. And then as soon as he retired, he's like, yeah, they should make the equipment smaller.
What do you got? 2 more, Zuby?
Yeah, that's perfect. Okay. Vane Mretzky says, Struddy, why is Arvidsson always lying down on the ice? He's always falling down. Never seen a player so weak on his skates before. We don't know if that's the issue here. There was all the, the Scott Hartnell thing became a joke with the Hartnell down with the t-shirts and everything like that. But what do you guys see from Victor Arvidsson? Is it just his stature and the kind of the scrappy game, and that's where he ends up?
Yeah, it could be, and for a guy who's lower to the ground, you think it'd be harder to knock over and fall down, right? Usually it's the taller guys that kind of go down a bit. I do notice that. I do see it. I mean, he's in quite a few battles. Like, he gets, and he's not the biggest human. So I could, you got to give him that as well. So take those away. Does he fall down more than other guys? Probably not. But just because he's that low, like Sidney Crosby's got same size, low down, strong on his legs, doesn't get pushed off too often.
The other guy that fell down a lot was Taylor Hall. And the interesting thing about Taylor Hall, when he fell down, he'd always end up on his bum. He would always end up like not on his knees, or he was always on his bum with his stick in his lap, and then like standing back up after that. So I don't know, whatever. Some players, it's just the way it goes with some players. Last one, Zuby.
Last one. Okay, funny one from a new guy here on the stream, Josh Taylor. He says, so if we want to talk about some lighthearted stuff tonight, can you ask Struddy for some stories about his favorite D partners, Ed Jovanovski and Ole Matthias? What's his name?
I know. I can't believe I couldn't remember Matthias Olin. I feel so badly. I just drew a blank, and when
did this happen? On the show
during
tonight?
the prime thing. During the prime.
Oh, yeah. I forgot Shogger didn't hear it.
I was like Matthias Ekholm. I couldn't get Ekholm out of my head, and I was like, then he starts to panic, and I'm like, obviously he was a good friend of mine. Like I just felt so bad. And he's the nicest guy. So yeah, sorry, Oli. That was bad luck.
Did you text him after, Struddy?
No, I don't really. We don't really text. It's been a long time. It's been like 20 years since we played. More than that ago. So he's probably forgotten about me by now, just like I did.
Just like you've forgotten about him. 2 thoroughly forgettable teammates. That was Ask Us Anything, brought to you by our good friends over at BJ Electric Supplies. All right, let's wrap up the show tonight.
Are you doing did we do a scoreboard tonight?
Oh, actually, did we not?
No.
Okay, yeah. Well, let's do that. Let's rip through that. Let's get to our scoreboard, brought to you by Canadian Club. Good catch there, Zuby. The all-new Canadian Club Classic 18-year-old high proof comes in at 58%. Their highest proof Canadian Club Classic to date. Full-bodied whiskey with aromas of caramel, toffee, spicy vanilla, and rich oak, with a butterscotch finish. Brownie talked about it, I think a little bit in brownie points there, Struds, but nice little debut for Demidov and the Montreal Canadiens, even though they lost the game, but I saw a little bit of it. He looked good.
He did. He's a talented player. So goal and assist tonight in about 17 minutes of ice time. So, and his goal was nice. He beat the guy on speed, quick to the backhand for the goalie. So 4-3, they lose though, still not enough to clinch his playoff spot. The Wings beat the Stars. Doesn't really make a big difference for the Wings in that. They're already out. The Rangers kind of regroup. They give the Panthers a 5-3 thrashing. Matt Remke gets his third goal of the year. I know many people are tracking that type of thing. The Predators continue to struggle. The Utah beats them 7-3. And then the Canucks in overtime beat the Sharks. Celebrini 25 goals, fighting for Lane Hudson in the Rookie of the Year and Dustin Wolf. And then Jake DeBrusk, 28th goal of the year in overtime. So good for him.
Yeah, great season for DeBrusk.
With
the
signing.
Vancouver Canucks. Yeah, for sure. All right, that was our scoreboard brought to you by Canadian Club. All right, let's wrap up the show with our Gallery Dental play of the day. Offering a full range of services designed to keep your smile healthy. Their experienced team providing personalized care with the latest technology, making sure you get the best treatment possible. Contact GalleryDentalYEG.com. What do we got for tonight, Struds?
35 years old, you get your 400th goal, Jamie Benn. Congratulations, the captain of Dallas Stars. This is last year's contract. I'm not saying he's not going to sign to Stars again, but 400 goals for Jamie Benn. I think he was a 5th rounder. Incredible career. I remember Ryan Huska telling me how good he was going to be when he had him in Kelowna. And he was right.
Ferocious. I think the word ferocious, him at his best. Like such a ferocious competitor, Struds.
Love him. Love it. I love the way he plays. And has had a great, amazing 400 goals. Come on. That's awesome.
Yeah. Amazing stuff. All right. That wraps up the show. Had a real good number right through past 1 a.m. here on the live stream. So thank you so much. We appreciate you. Starting over at 61. Glad that we got a hat to you.
Yeah.
And look forward to having you back on the stream again soon, my friend. Zuby, good job tonight, buddy. We'll chat. So next pod for us is actually going to be Wednesday from 12 to 1 o'clock. The Oilers getting set to take on the Sharks that night, but we'll have Struddy's World from 12 to 1 o'clock here on YouTube, on Twitter as well. So make sure you tune in for that, and then we'll do a Got Your Back post-game as well. Have a good night, fellas. Thanks.
Bonne nuit.
And Blommer wants to make sure there's going to be a playoff preview episode. He said he only joined us in round 2 last year, so he's hoping there's going to be a big playoff preview episode.
Okay, yeah. We'll take a look at the schedule. We'll figure it out. After that San Jose game, the schedule will get set. And yeah, chances are before the series gets underway, we'll have some sort of a preview show. And definitely there'll be a Ray and Dregs. We're going to tape a Ray and Dregs a little bit later on in the week. And that'll be a playoff preview show as well. So looking forward to all of that. Thanks to everybody for joining us. Thanks to our title sponsor, Play Alberta, and all our fabulous sponsors. We'll chat in a couple of days. See ya.